Yo, 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 guys, how we doing? So, sorry I didn't have a video last week. Weird schedule on the weekend, given the off day, basically, from the Prem on the weekend. It didn't work out for making a video, but we're back today, and we're back for an exciting match this weekend against Burnley. So, really excited because this match against Burnley is going to be huge, because after this, our schedule definitely gets a little bit tougher. And we are really tight in there with both the teams right in front of us as well as the teams right behind us, which is actually what I want to take a minute to look at before we get into match preview. But yeah, it's a crazy time for sports, right? I'm into a lot of sports, Chelsea being my top thing, of course, but you know, we just had the Super Bowl, if you're into football at all. Baseball, like MLB season's getting around the corner, so it's an exciting time to be alive, guys. And you know, we're getting to the final stretch here for the Prem, which is massive, and we actually have a race on our hands because Arsenal are trying their best to bottle job once again, so we'll see if they succeed in that endeavor. Hopefully so, we'll see. But let's first, before we get into all the Burnley stuff for this game, I want to first just take a look at the Premier League table. So let's go ahead and hop over there. I'll share my screen and we'll do that for a second. All right, guys, so I just have this pulled up because I don't know if you guys have looked at the standings as of late. I realize I like looking at the standings a heck of a lot more when I know we're in like the top three, and then when we start kind of floundering a little bit, I stop looking as much. So just wanted to show us here in the form guide as well. We actually have some of the best form of any team in the Premier League right now. Should have won our last game. That should all be green. Then we would actually have the best form of any team in the Premier League. If you'll see right up here, Arsenal has a draw, which is because they just drew against Wolves 2-2. Crazy result, guys. Horrible for them. And anyway, I just want to look at a couple of things, see where we're at. So we're obviously extremely step for step with Man United right now. 12 wins to our 12 wins. They have one more draw. We have one more loss, which is basically the one thing separating us. So, and we have better goal differential by quite a bit, actually. Much better defense. Liverpool is also nipping at our heels. It's so weird how perspectives shift things, right? They're expected to be champions, so this season is looked at as a horrible season, and people are saying, you know, Arne Slot's got to be on the hot seat. Whereas for Chelsea, right, this is of course not a great season for us either, but nobody's talking about it nearly as much, right? Because we weren't expected to be there, so just kind of odd, because they're right behind us. And then surprisingly, we got Brentford and Everton right there as well. So then there's a bit of a drop off, right? You know, Everton is, you know, 7 points behind us, and we got some space. Newcastle's still not so inconsistent for Newcastle. But then we see something that's just shocking, and this is, I just want to take a minute to look at this. Below Leeds and just above Nottingham Forest right now, Tottenham Hotspur. They're on 7 wins, 8 draws, and 11 losses with 29 points and a negative goal differential. And they have 3 losses in their last 5. No wins in the last 5. Guys, they're only 5 points above the relegation spots. I know people have been joking. You've probably heard, you know, we're going to raid them for some of their players if they go down. That's not really totally clickbait. You know, they have a new coach coming in. Isn't it Pereira, I think? And they're doing horribly this year. They have injury concerns in the midfield, especially. All these different problems. I know they're almost certainly going to find a way to not get relegated with the quality they have. But nonetheless, it's this late in the season, guys. Match week 27. And they're 2 spots above the relegation zone. Absolute madness. But then going down to the relegation zone, we see Burnley in 19th. They have 1 win in their last 5, which was against Palace, I believe, 3-2 win, which is a good win for them, even though Palace has been not what they were last year. And, you know, they have 4 wins in the whole season, 6 draws, and apparently a blank page. I'm on Burnley here now. Didn't want to do that. Let's go ahead and hop back. They had 4 wins, 6 draws, 16 losses, and a negative 23 goal difference, which is only worse to Wolves. So they've conceded 51 goals, which is the worst in the Premier League, which is astonishing. And that's the team we're playing on Saturday. So we should obviously win. Every team, this was exemplified with Wolves tying against Arsenal. Every team in the Prem can give a game. However, this is a team with a horrible defense and one of the worst offenses as well. So anyway, that's just a quick look at kind of the state of the Prem. And now I want to hop into some specifics for the match against Burnley and look at some Chelsea squad news. So let's hop over to a different page and look at that with you guys. All right, guys, so we're not going to spend much time here. I just want to give you a little update, especially on injuries. The boys just finished up some kind of, I don't know if it was all group or if it was just different people going together, but they just finished like a mini vacation because this is our first week, like our midweek off in what seems like months. So, probably good for them, get a little rest, rejuvenate, hopefully not get your minds too off of what is at hand. But nonetheless, we do have some players coming back. So Cole Palmer's expected to play. It was just minutes management as well as the case with Reece James. So both Reece James and Cole Palmer should be back for this match against Burnley on the weekend, which is huge news for us, right? Those are two pivotal players for us. Cole's been starting to look like his old self again, creative, confident, goal scoring attitude, except for the howler, but we don't need to talk about that. So Cole should be back. Reece should be back as well. Lavia is actually back into contention, which is exciting. I don't think he'll be back yet. They're going to be extremely careful with him, but I'll keep you guys updated as I learn more and more about that. Defensively, Marc Cucurella, I don't know if you've heard about this. It's going to be, I think last I saw, about 3 to 4 weeks probably for him, which quite frankly is good news to me. That sounds crazy, but I was worried it was going to be months with some of the news I was hearing. People concerned about his World Cup hopes, all this stuff. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but nonetheless, he'll be out as well as Jamie Gittins, Jorgensen, and Asugo. Don't know what's happening with Jorgensen. Not sure if any of you guys know. Leave in the comments if you guys know, because I really am not sure what's going on with him. And then for Burnley, we don't care all too much about that, but actual Tonzebe is not playing. So anyway, that's a little bit of an update on some player availability for the match, but we're pretty dang healthy, honestly, except for losing Cucurella. We are pretty close to our strongest 11 possible. So speaking of our strongest 11 of how we can line up against Burnley to have success, let's go ahead and build a lineup together. And I'm curious specifically if you guys would agree with the 11 I'm going with, or if you guys would make any differences. So let's hop over and build a lineup. Okay, guys, so here we are on Lineup Builder, and let's just walk through what we have going on here. So in the back, there's going to be a lot of consistency here. Rob Sanchez, Reece James coming back in at right back. In the middle pairing, I got the kind of go-to this season with Wes Fofana and Trev Chalobah. I loved what I saw from Mamadou Sarr. I thought it was an absolute shame that Stevao, loved the guy, didn't finish the opportunity where Mamadou just hit this absolute gem of a pass to him. And I feel like I've not seen a pass like that from a center back. Just clipped it over the back line, through ball at the perfect angle right onto Stevao, who took it greatly in stride, just couldn't finish it, unfortunately. He played great. I just don't think you become the starter above the likes of these guys after one performance. So I keep the two of them together, and it's exciting for Trev too, because he's been our most consistent center back this year, and he's in contention to play for England's World Cup squad. So that's pretty exciting. I'm obviously not English. I'd be interested, would you guys, without a Chelsea bias, like to see him at least in the squad? Likely not starting, but as coverage, I'd be curious. And then Malo Gusto will be kind of the deputy filling in for Marc Cucurella. We've seen him do that before. I'm not thrilled by him on the left, if I'm being honest, but we don't have really a lot of other options. You could see Hato, which, would be not very surprising. I really wouldn't be surprised if you saw Hato start this game, especially given that it's Burnley. Very well could be Hato, but it also could potentially be a game where you try to kind of bed Malo Gusto in so he's more acclimated and prepared for some of the bigger games if you'd want a little bit more experience. which, by the way, it's hilarious talking about Malagusto as the experienced player, which he's, what, 22? So anyway, I have him on the left. And then in the midfield, this three stays the same for me. Andre Santos, Moises Caicedo, who we're hoping can get a little bit of discipline to his game as of late. And then Enzo Fernandez in that kind of roaming 10 role, especially up into the left pocket, finishing chances and taking shots from outside the 18. And then on the left, I'm going Pedro Neto. I don't really see a place where you can drop him. I feel like he's been polarizing for some reason lately. I think there's kind of a false narrative story about him taking everything Chelsea off his Instagram pages and whatnot. And then I heard he never actually had it anyway. So I think we're just making drama out of nothing. I have him on the left. I mean, he's clearly been... I think, guys, we have to say he's clearly been the best winger this year. Maybe not the most exciting or most upside of our wingers, but he's clearly been the best performing winger. So he's on the left, and then Cole on the right. So that's the kind of front little three I have here, attacking three. And then up top, we have Joao Pedro, who has been absolutely excellent as of late. He has more goal contributions than Ugo Ekitike, I believe more than Voltemata. I think goal contributions, he's actually right up there for second most among strikers is what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying goals, I'm talking about goal contributions, because I know Igor Thiago has more goals, but I don't think he has as many assists. So anyway, he stays in the team for me, and that's my starting 11. So now let's share my final thoughts and a little score prediction, and we'll wrap it up for you guys in just a minute. Okay, guys, so yeah, I'm excited for this game because I think we're in much better form as of late, and this should be a game that we should be able to win. I think our team is looking back to being a healthy starting 11, except for Mark, of course, which is a shame. Hopefully Malo and Hato, whether it be one or both of them, even really splitting minutes as of kind of like a, one doing 60, one doing 30 type thing. I think we can cover that well. I think this should be a good, enjoyable game. We are a very exciting team going forward. We have so much talent in both the midfield and the front lines now that I'm never doubting our creativity. Sometimes the execution can be lacking, but I'm never doubting the creativity that's there. And we're a solid team, right, going forward. So that mixed with the fact that Burnley are horrible in the back, conceding 51 goals in 26 games, right, averaging about 2 goals conceded per match. I think we're going to do well. I do think we're going to do well. I think we'll concede. Just because it feels like we're conceding often. And Robert Sanchez is just livid when we concede a goal in like the 80th plus minute, and another one of his clean sheets has just slipped between his fingers barely because of a poorly marked man at the back post or a poorly cleared ball that's just bouncing around, and then one of their forwards just lashes it in. But nonetheless, I think we're going to win this game 3-1. And as for goal scorers, I'm going to go with Joao Pedro. I'm going to go for Pedro Neto, and I'm going to go for, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to say a Moises Caicedo goal. One of his very few and far between goals. We're going to get one today. So, nonetheless, guys, let me know what your score predictions are. I really would love to interact with your guys' comments. For the foreseeable future, if you guys comment, I will interact with you because it's not like we got hundreds of comments down there. So I would love to interact with you guys down there on your thoughts, ways you think the squad could be different, all those things. So leave those thoughts down below. And as for that, I'll see you guys next week.